Alright, what is up, guys? This is Shadesmoto. I just made a how to wheelie video. And, I love this bike, okay? 2001 300EX. I love it to death. It's really good, but, you know, not every bike is perfect. Well, no bike is perfect, so here's some things I hate about it. Let me gear up and I'll get going. And I kind of got this idea from vehicle versions, but I mean, Parker Nierstein is never going to put his fat ass on a quad. So these videos aren't going to be made for quads. I don't think anyone's ever made these in a history of motovlogging for quads. So I really don't think people have made too much of them about motorcycles. So this is kind of like new uncharted territory, and I hope you guys like the video. Well, anyway, I can't express this enough. I love this bike. I love this bike to death. I wouldn't trade it for anything, well, except the 450R. But see, it has a nice sound, and it's fast. It does wheelies. So I love the bike, but there's a few things wrong with it. Let's start out by saying this is a fast bike, especially in the woods here in Pennsylvania. I know it's not the fastest. Raptor 700s all that are faster, but if you're in the woods, 60 miles per hour is a pretty good top speed for a bike. With stock gearing and everything, stock rev limiter, 60 miles per hour. Well, these tires are a little bigger in stock. If it's fully stock tires are 59. But the point I'm trying to get is, it's kind of fast, and the headlight really isn't that strong. To get a good headlight on, you've got to get like an aftermarket bulb. It's really expensive. Just seeing it at night, when you're doing a top speed run down a dirt road, it's kind of sketchy with this headlight. And I really wish this headlight could be stronger or just a little bit higher position. The low beam is useless except for like parking it in the shed, and you need to see. The high, you got to use the high beams 24/7. I really can't show you the strength of the light because it's daytime, but that's just one of my pet peeves, and I'm doing this review specifically on this bike. Another thing is complicated reverse procedure. Lots of people bitch about this, and I know there's like several life hacks and fixes and whatever. So let's say here this bike could obviously go over it, but let's just say for argument's sake there was piranhas and grizzly bears and fire. I can't go over this shit. What do? I need to come back the way I came? Reverse. You don't just like shift down a gear or something or push a button. You got to push this button on the clutch lever, pull in the clutch, pull up the lever, and you're in reverse with this ridiculously sounding rev limiter. And, well, what do? You pull away just like a normal thing. You're going backwards. Alright, you back up where you need to back up. What do? You got to push this down and put it back in neutral, and then go for a shift. I know it's not like extremely complicated, but it could have been easier. I know the Yamaha Raptors are a little bit less complex. You just kind of like twist a button while you pull on a clutch and downshift. I personally think that'd be a lot easier. You don't have to reach for that ridiculous lever, and you have a reverse rev limiter, so you can't go too fast in reverse. But at the same time, I really don't mind a reverse rev limiter. And I don't use reverse a lot, but when I do, it's just kind of annoying having that procedure. People that aren't used to this bike, they can't use reverse. Another pet peeve with it is, now I'm reviewing specifically for this bike, is you get no heat shield. That pipe gets really, really hot, and you can see melted plastic on it if the camera's looking at it, where it melted my like polyester camo pants. That thing gets really hot, has no heat shield. Another thing is tendency to vapor lock if it's hot and you're like revving high in a low gear, because this bike is air cooled and it has no oil cooler. This bike will vapor lock on you, plain and simple. It's like you're in the woods and all of a sudden you stab at the gas, it'll just vapor lock right out on you. And cold start procedure. This bike is air cooled, carbureted, very simple design, but cold start is kind of tricky. And if you don't shut the fuel line and run it out of fuel off in the winter, with the ethanol in today's gas, you get ice jets in the carburetor, making it way more difficult. to die, no choke, and full choke. You got to play with it. Sometimes you got to rev it a little. And if your valves are off and like you're tight starting this bike on anything but a hot day can be almost damn near impossible. Like you might have to charge the battery halfway through. The valves are good on this, but it still isn't the easiest bike to get cold started. Another pet peeve is these bikes, when the clutch basket is still cold on your first pull away, it's a very rough start. The clutch sticks on it. I have a good clutch, I put good oil on it, good synthetic oil, but the clutch sticks. Especially in the winter, you can't have the clutch in and be in gear. Like, I'm in gear right now, I have the clutch in. I won't say I want to push this for some reason, but it's in gear. You'll be like halfway locking up the rear tires pushing it. When it's warm, and of course the bike's warmed up, it doesn't matter. But the first pull away of the day, you know, it's kind of clunky until you get some heat in the clutch basket. And now this next one, it's going to sound kind of hypocritical, because at the same time I love this, but at the same time it bugs me a little. This bike is too loud, okay? With this muffler, the pack and worn out a little, it's probably too loud to be legal for the trails. I ride the trails, so I gotta be careful going past rangers, but this bike is too loud. When I'm riding around the yard or just doing a day trip or even just a weekend, whether it be TDF weekend or spend a couple days at the trails, you know what? I love to be able to. I love that, but if you're trying to be incognito, we're trying to not look like a dick when you're practicing your wheelies, the exhaust gets kind of loud, and if you're doing a week-long trip, you won't be able to hear it coming back. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse, and because it's so loud and sounds so good, you're tempted to rev it when you're sitting in the shed, which is a terrible idea. You'll blow your eardrums. I've like temporarily lost my hearing from it. But at the same time, I love the sound. Just had to do a wheelie there. Another pet peeve. This bike on a wheelie. Let me show you right quick what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna kill switch it. Fuel line off. You'll see what I mean here pretty quick. This bike, when it's on a wheelie, it can go past the balance point and it'll actually flip over if you let it. Some bikes, you could hold it at balance point and go past, but like I went past where I was holding it, a little bit more past, I could have flipped this bike over, and the muffler sticks out like same level or 1/4 inch past this, which isn't the best. So let me turn my fuel line back on. So, I really don't like that. It kind of gets uneasy when you're hitting balance point on a wheelie. If I had like an extended grab rail, it won't be the best thing scraping it. You can still hurt your foot, but it'd be a little bit more comforting. So you have that level of safety when you're on a wheelie. And my wheelies would probably be better if it wasn't such a pussy at the balance point. It's very tempting to do wheelies on this. I love this bike too much, and these things I hate about, I really don't hate per se, they just kind of get on me sometimes. Just anything that bugs me, hey, that's a negative. Whatever the positive outweighs the negative, it's still a negative, so just figured I'd share with you guys the negatives on this bike. It's still a really great bike to buy, and if you want to get it says it's a beginner sport quad, but if you're a really good rider, like somewhat like halfway professional level, and you're looking to get yourself a middleweight sport quad, this is a great bike to buy. Plenty of power, light, you hit jumps, it's fast, it's balanced, everything a sport quad needs to be. So yeah guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will make things I love about the 300EX in just a little bit. It'll be uploaded like a day later or later tonight, I don't know. So if I upload my wheelie video, that'll come first. If you guys are watching this, you obviously saw the wheelie video. If you guys are regulars on the channel, that is. If you're not regulars, make sure you subscribe and become regulars. You know, I welcome new people. And Shadesmoto, later.